Psalm 27, verse 3 reads, "Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident." Some people feel they can handle small problems, others feel they can handle fairly large problems. But we all reach a limit when our problems become bigger than us, bigger than what we can handle on our own. What then? David said, "If God is your stronghold, it doesn't matter how great the problem gets." David was confident in God no matter what the threats he faced. It doesn't matter how large a problem you are facing in your life, God is bigger than your problems, and you can have full confidence in Him. Now that it doesn't mean that everything will turn out the way you want it to be. God, in His wisdom, may have different plans for you than you would choose for yourself. We as Christians all suffer. We grieve. We are not immune to sickness and sorrow. We lose loved ones. Our dreams come crashing down. But amidst all, God is faithful. He will bring us through whatever problems we face. In the long run, even death cannot hurt the child of God, for death is simply what ushers us into God's presence. The person who trusts God is not threatened by the odds. What did David say in verse 3? "Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I'll be confident." Know that God is bigger than any problem you face. So, how did David do it? Why was David able to pray with such confidence even in the face of such overwhelming odds? In verses 4 to 10, we find him praying for his life in a different way. David comes to God praying for daily strength for his life. How do we do that? In verse 4, David says, "One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek." When God asked Solomon that question, Solomon asked for wisdom to rule God's people. God liked that answer, but I think he liked David's answer even more, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. What is one thing that David desires? When David talks about dwelling in the house of the Lord, he talks about living in God's presence, knowing God's presence daily in his life. Why did David long to dwell in the house of the Lord all his days? He gives us two reasons. One, to gaze upon God's beauty, and two, to seek God in his temple. What did he mean by God's beauty? His beauty is his character, his love, his holiness, his power, his faithfulness, his justice, his mercy, his kindness, his grace. A beautiful, perfect, harmonious character that thrills our being. God's beauty refers to God's blessedness, His delightfulness, His goodness, His graciousness. God's character is delightful and attractive. This is why David could call God his light and his salvation, the strength of his life, because he spent time gazing upon God's beautiful character. Are you gazing on God like David on his beautiful character? If so, you will receive the strength that you need in your life today and have the faith to face the challenges today. Be blessed.